What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today we are going to look closer at the Articles of Confederation. So we finished the American Revolution. The Americas won. They're no longer under British control, but now they got to set up their own government. And we talked about all of the issues that they were going to have to figure out. And what they come up with is the Articles of Confederation. And so let's look at what they are. The Articles of Confederation are written by John Dickinson. All right, so they are written by John Dickinson, and then they were presented to Congress. They were presented to Congress, and Congress stated that we agree with these terms. And so this is the first shot at government. So first place, woo, since the King of England was no longer under control. So this is the first attempt at government that Congress agreed on since no more king. All right? So now let's look at how it was put together, starting with its structure. Let's look at the structure of the Articles of Confederation. So the Articles of Confederation are a unicameral, or one house, meaning that there were no checks. This was the group that was in charge. So it's a unicameral, one house system. And in this one house system, the 13 colonies are split up. That was very poorly drawn, but you get the point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 colonies, right? Each colony gets one vote. And each colony got one vote regardless of how many people lived there. So regardless of population, each colony got one vote. So there were 13 votes total. Everybody got one vote. And to make a law, so to write a law, you needed 13 votes. You needed 13 individual states operating in 13 individual ways to agree on any federal law that was supposed to be put in place. So that is the structure and the setup for the Articles of Confederation. So now let's look at the role of the national government. Let's look at the role of the national government under these articles. So the national government When it came to declaring war, the government could do that. The federal government could do that. When it came to peace treaties, whether with other countries or with within states, the government could do that. All right. When it came to signing treaties on behalf of the colonies or the United States, they could do that. When these colonies or the country wanted to borrow money, they could do that. But there were plenty of things that they could not do. If the government wanted to collect taxes, not allowed. That was a no. If the government wanted to trade with another country, any other country, the government wanted to conduct trade, you couldn't do that. Not the national government. No way. If the government wanted to change something that was in the Articles of Confederation, so if they wanted to undo or erase something, well, they couldn't do that unless you got all 13 votes, which we talked about under the structure of the Articles of Confederation. So they couldn't collect taxes, they couldn't trade with other countries, they couldn't make laws or change the Articles of Confederation, which is on purpose. This leads to some strengths and weaknesses of the Articles. So first, let's look at the strengths. We're going to first look at the strengths of the Articles of Confederation. These are the things that were good. Strengths of the Articles. Well, number one, you get the Treaty of Paris, which ended the American Revolution. So that's good. It ended the American Revolution, kind of stopped the fighting. Number two, it set up a plan for the United States to advance in this direction, which is northwest. And you see what's called the Northwest Ordinance come into play. And so these are two strengths of the Articles of Confederation. Things that were good. It ended a war. The United States started to expand and get bigger. But there are some negatives. There are some negatives. The United States as a government they are broke. They have no money. No money at all. The United States has no trade partners. No one to trade with because the government wasn't allowed to do so. So they didn't set up those relationships. And then they have no control. They have no control. The states are essentially allowed to do whatever it is that they want to do. And that creates conflict amongst the states. Under the Articles of Confederation, the United States is essentially operating as 13 independent countries that only came together in times of war, when it was time to fight. They would come together as a collection of groups. But other than that, they're operating as 13 individual countries. They all have they have different kinds of money. They have different taxes. They're intentionally taxing individuals from other states that are coming into their states. And so it really is set up to fail. But the weaknesses are set up that way on purpose. The colonies are afraid of a strong central government. They just got out of the control of King George and Great Britain, which had a very strong central government. And so they wanted to set up a system where the states had their rights to operate in their own way. But what we realize is even though there are some positives like the ending of the American Revolution and the advancement of the Americas, which we are going to talk about, we're going to discuss the Northwest Ordinance and how America would expand. There were also some negatives and some rebellions and some fighting that take place. And we're going to discuss those too, because those lead to the Articles of Confederation. Well, they get crumpled up and thrown away. You have an assignment on Canvas. You're going to analyze the Articles of Confederation. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Let me know. And as always, have a great day.